when would you expect a markup of the Clarity bill?
Well, now that we might have to consider war funding. We are embroiled in how to deal with the SAVE Act. I'm hoping we'll get to mark up either right before the Easter break or right after, and hopefully have a product out of the Senate Banking Committee before the end of April. But the deeper it gets into the year, Maria, the more challenging it's going to be for us to get this across the finish line, which is why I'm encouraging my Democrat colleagues to get us their final product so we can move forward.
Senate Digital Asset Subcommittee Chair Cynthia Lummis telling Maria the Clarity Act markup could come out near Easter. Now, the White House and the Senate reportedly reached a preliminary agreement on digital asset regulation aimed at resolving the clash between the banks and digital asset firms over stablecoin yields, in particular the issue of the rewards. Crypto stocks falling on that report. Circle, the issuer of the second largest stablecoin by circulation, plunged 20% Tuesday. Coinbase, largest cryptocurrency exchange here, reportedly opposing the latest version again. We have heard that opposition from the CEO of Coinbase in the past. Let's bring in South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. He chairs the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee. Been a leading voice in passing the Clarity Act. Mr. Chairman, you and I have had many conversations about the Clarity Act.
Yes.
Where are we right now?
Well, Cheryl, this is hard, and it should be hard because this is the first time ever we've tried to deal with such a historic piece of legislation. It will keep America as the most dominant player in the world economically. There's good news, though, Cheryl. The first thing I'd say is that we now have Republicans and Democrats working together on language that they can agree on. The White House agrees on it as well. We have one more step to go. We need the industry to agree on it. So I spoke last night with Coinbase as well. Everyone is still at the table. There is work to be done, but I am really excited about the fact that we finally have Republicans and Democrats agreeing on something really important on the yield conversation. We now have to get industry to buy into this language. This is a threading the needle process. It's always difficult the first time you do it, but it gets better and better and better. And so I'm still very optimistic about where we are.
But it comes down to the issue of the rewards on the cryptocurrency platforms side. The banks oppose this because these cryptocurrency firms are not regulated the same as banks are. Of course, crypto platforms like a Coinbase, et cetera, don't want to be regulated like banks do. So does that mean that the banks, in a sense, are starting to win the argument about the rewards?
Well, Cheryl, the banks are at the table as well, but let's remember, we're talking about an apple and an orange. We're not talking about Apple versus Apple. A stable coin is a $1 to a $1 backing, whereas your savings account is a fractional system. So we're talking about two very different systems altogether. But yes, we want to make sure that the advertising or the marketing of a stable coin account is very different than an FDIC insured bank account. That's important. But at the end of the day, all the players are still at the table. We should expect this to be a very interesting and, frankly, exciting, not as exciting as March Madness, but it's pretty darn exciting to watch us get closer and closer to the end of this deal. I'm excited about where we are.
All right. And I'm excited about March Madness. I agree with you on that.
Me too.
Let's talk about some other issues of the day. So House Budget Committee Chair Jody Arrington is in formal talks with Senate Budget Committee Chair Lindsey Graham regarding a second reconciliation bill. Now, this would fund the Pentagon's $200 billion supplemental for the Iran conflict. It would also build legislation around new funding for immigration enforcement, plus parts of the Save America Act. Now, the president's been very busy on Truth Social this morning, Mr. Chairman. He wrote this: terminate the filibuster and get our airports and everything else moving again. Also add the complete all 5 items, Save America Act items, go for the gold. Mr. Chairman, your reaction to the president's new request this morning?
Well, listen, if you were in an Atlanta airport on Monday or Tuesday, you had a 4-hour wait, and you have TSA workers that have not been paid consistently for 6 months of this fiscal year. It is so frustrating to watch senators, Democrats like John Ossoff, refuse to do the very job that they took an oath to do. Keep America safe. We should all be frustrated. The American people should be frustrated that we're not doing our jobs. Republicans, we're getting the job done. Democrats, they're playing politics with national security. So having a vehicle that allows us to fund the Department of Homeland Security in its entirety is absolutely essential. Using the same vehicle to take care of the Iran conflict, common sense. And any part of the Save America Act where you have 8 out of 10 Americans agreeing with getting involved in the reconciliation process, great news. Listen, I had a group of South Carolinians in my office, and they agree, voter ID, common sense. Number 2, Americans should vote in American elections, no one else, common sense. And number 3, why can't we get the Democrats just to do what 80% of Americans agree upon? I don't know. Let's get rid of some Democrats and get more Republicans. Solve the problem.
Well, there's a lot of business at hand today for you in Washington, and I want to get to the Export-Import Banking Chair in just a second. But real quick, just where we're at with regards to reopening DHS, because the Republicans made an offer, and of course the Democrats countered offer. The Democrats blocked even a test vote yesterday. What do you expect to happen today with regards to the DHS situation, first and foremost?
Yeah, more frustration, to be honest with you, Cheryl. We had a heated debate last night about 7:30 with some Democrats and Republicans in the cloakroom, and I will just tell you the truth that they want to take masks away from our ICE agents. And what does that mean? It's not just elimination of a mask. It actually means that the doxing will happen. Their families will be less safe. Their kids will be less safe. And they're going to be worried about their families while they're trying to do a very dangerous job. Let's just keep those folks who put on a badge to keep America safe. Let's keep them safe first. Job one is our national security. So anyone who wants to play games with those individuals are playing games with America's safety and our future. So this will be a frustrating day. It was a frustrating night last night, but I believe that we'll land the plane by being able to use a reconciliation package. President Trump keeps saying yes to the Democrats' demands, and they walk away from the table. They actually move the goalposts. They pull it out of the ground, and they move it back 10 yards, and then they replant it, and we say yes. How do you deal with a person who doesn't want to make a deal? You do it without them. That's how you get it done.
Thank you for that new information about last night. And it's unfortunate as we go into day 41 of this shutdown, and we're expecting a busier travel day today than we had yesterday. Real quick before you go, I do want to ask you about this. Export-Import Bank Chair John Jovanovic is going to be appearing before Senate Banking today. And this is going to be the committee's first step towards reauthorizing the Export-Import Bank ahead of the expiration in December, Mr. Chairman. What can we expect with this?
Well, number one, let's remember what the Ex-Im Bank is all about. It is about us beating China. We need to have the funding apparatus around this country that allows for our exporters to be successful. They've returned over $10 billion to the Treasury, so this is good news for the taxpayers. But more importantly, it will keep us economically dominant, and we'll win the economic war, so to speak, against China. That's what we'll hear this morning about the Ex-Im Bank.
All right, we're going to be watching that hearing today, sir, and of course the latest on DHS funding. Senator Tim Scott, Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for being here. It's always great to speak with you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you soon, sir.